Hello again. Welcome back in some epic battles. Before we dive into the analysis, I just want to say thank you very much. Who will win, Darkseid or the Chaos King? In today's confrontation, I will break down why the Lord of Apokolips has absolutely no chance against the Chaos King and how his journey will come to an end in a single strike. While this may seem biased at first, before we jump to conclusions, we need to take a closer look at both opponents. Along the way, I will also clear up a common misconception about Darkseid, namely what many fans often refer to as his true form, a term that is misleading when it comes to the true nature of this powerful entity. This idea originated with Grant Morrison, who revealed that the new gods are essentially pure concepts, with Darkseid representing the pure essence of evil in the multiverse. However, this does not mean that they are simply abstract ideas. Instead, they have chosen specific domains to rule over, defining their power within the structure of the universe. The new gods are core cosmic entities, playing a fundamental role in the functioning of the universe. As the universe changes and evolves over time, they adapt and grow with it, maintaining the balance between supernatural forces. Darkseid's domain of rule is evil, which explains why all evil in the entire multiverse converges on him as a central point of convergence, and each conflict serves to increase his power. Darkseid is not simply an idea or an abstract concept of evil. He is the true embodiment of all evil in the multiverse, a being whose power is beyond the ordinary. Grant Morrison has also revealed that Darkseid's true form is not just the familiar form that people often see, but a powerful cosmic entity hidden behind the image of the boss Darkseid, an entity that represents the essence of pure darkness with profound influence on all of reality. Many, including myself, once believed that this colorful entity was Darkseid's true form. However, this is not the case at all. What we often think of as Darkseid's true form is actually his core essence, or perhaps his soul. Most of Darkseid's appearances on Apokolips in the comics, with the exception of the New 52 and Rebirth periods, have been his true form. While he sometimes uses avatars to interact with the physical world, that is a completely different matter. Instead, they inhabit a plane of reality so vast that the entire universe appears as a tiny bubble of space. Their existence extends far beyond the confines of three-dimensional space, and each impact they have on reality is a tiny reflection of the immense power they truly possess. This is where the boom tubes come into play. These dimensional portals do more than just allow for travel between worlds. When humans arrive on New Genesis or Apokolips, they can interact normally with their surroundings, despite the fact that they are extremely small in size compared to the entities there. The boom tubes act as a reality adaptation mechanism, allowing individuals who exist on different cosmic planes to communicate and influence each other on Darkseid's emanations and his post-etheric state. Darkseid and the New Gods operate in a similar way to most mythological deities. They exist in a transcendent reality. These aspects are often referred to as avatars or emanations, each representing a small portion of their vast power. For example, in Greek mythology, gods could create avatars of themselves to interact with the mortal world, but this came with a corollary. Their power was dispersed, making each avatar significantly weaker than the whole being. Similarly, Darkseid can also create countless emanations to carry out his will across different dimensions, but it is this separation that prevents his incarnations from reaching the same level of absolute omnipotence as his original self in the higher cosmic realms. They can become whole again by reassembling all of their emanations or emanations within themselves, thereby restoring their complete and omnipotent form, which to the new gods is called divinity, or divinity in Greek mythology. With this, we can be certain that this is what Darkseid was trying to accomplish after Final Crisis, when his divinity was scattered across the realities of the Orrery of Worlds, a goal that was successfully achieved after Death Metal, after the multiverse was rebooted with all the energy streams being absorbed back into Darkseid, restoring his divinity and becoming whole again. Darkseid is a cosmic force whose chosen domain is evil. He is a gigantic, higher dimensional being who can shrink himself to enter the material world through specific methods, most notably by means of a boom tube. Like all Sphere of the Gods, Darkseid can split himself or be split into lesser emitters than the complete whole that makes up his original body, but he can recreate himself as a whole by reabsorbing all emitters back into himself. There is no real Darkseid Netflix and chill in Sphere of the Gods while you're destroying his avatar or emanations. When the multiverse was pieced back together, any lesser emanations or forms scattered throughout the multiverse after the final crisis were reabsorbed into Darkseid, becoming whole again and having power far surpassing his pre-crisis power on infinite Earths. Darkseid killed the quintessence from behind, suggesting that he probably could not kill them from the front with raw power, and that he should have involved the individual members of the quintessence, overwhelming and killing Tartarus, whose armor was forged from the molten ore of the 8 rings of ancient spectrum, calling him the echo of a whisper in his weakest moments. With Darkseid's godhead, Infinite Frontier, standing on par with Asmodel, Darkseid seemed to be superior, as Asmodel needed support from the Sheeta Queen. He briefly fought off the Empty Hand, possessing the crack in the Omniverse, and wounded him with Omega Beams. When the multiverse was pieced back together at the end of Metal Wars, several heroes from different universes found themselves with multiversal energy within them. These energies can be harnessed, which is what Darkseid did when Mr. Bones made a deal with him and sacrificed heroes so that Darkseid could harness the remaining multiversal energy within them. Darkseid used these heroes' connection to the multiverse to power Omega Earth, one of the 2 centers of the new configuration of the multiverse. Through it, chains emerged from Omega Earth and bound other universes, which would lead to multiversal chaos, as there would be no more interdimensional travel or connection between parallel universes. Remember to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon and turn on notifications to see the earliest videos. Thank you. The Chaos King is the embodiment of the primordial darkness and absolute chaos of the beginning, when the world was formless, empty, and night covered the surface of the abyss before Gaia emerged. He is the polar opposite of eternity, defined as an anti-god, representing the collapse of cosmic order. In essence, if eternity were to confront the Chaos King, it would be a battle against an opposing aspect of himself, a paradox that exists in the balance of the universe. However, it should be noted that the Chaos King was not completely equal to eternity at the outset. His power was greatly increased by absorbing the energies of various god pantheons, allowing him to reach levels far beyond what he was, becoming one of the most dangerous beings to ever exist. The Chaos King is a greater threat than the Infinity Gauntlet. This may not simply be a comparison of sheer power, but also a reference to his primal nature. A being of pure darkness, bent on turning the entire multiverse into absolute nothingness. However, his threat can be interpreted in different ways, depending on how one views his true nature. In his campaign of destruction, the Chaos King and his legions wiped out the entire underworld, forcing death to abandon his realm. He destroyed the sacred shrines of Mayan, Celtic, and Japanese mythology in an instant, weakening ancient beliefs on a cosmic scale. What's more terrifying is that everything he destroys does not disappear, but becomes a part of himself, making him more powerful, like a chaotic storm that consumes all existence in its path. The Chaos King swallowed Gaia when he descended to drag the Earth back into eternal darkness. In his destructive rampage, he destroyed 98.76% of the entire Marvel multiverse. Faced with his unstoppable power, Hercules and Amadeus Cho were forced to change their strategy, accepting that he would win in the most advantageous way. Instead of confronting him head-on, which was unthinkable, they tricked the Chaos King into entering a portal that led to a completely new world where space was constantly being regenerated. There, he was trapped in the very void he had created, trapped in a void in the process of forming, where he could no longer spread his destruction. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon and turn on notifications to see the earliest videos. Thank you. It is no surprise that the Chaos King would win this confrontation, and the Lord of Apokolips, Darkseid, would eventually be engulfed in his chaotic darkness. Of course, Darkseid has a wealth of resources and strategies that can give him a definite advantage. However, unless he can obtain Earth Omega, combine it with the remaining multiversal energy in some of Earth's heroes to forge a chain capable of sealing the Chaos King, whether Earth Omega is strong enough to hold him or not, or if he can harness Soulfire to its full potential, Darkseid and Apokolips will inevitably be crushed under the overwhelming might of the Chaos King. Darkseid's only option for survival is to retreat and wait out the chaos. That doesn't mean he's completely helpless in the fight, however. Considering Thor managed to inflict minor injuries on the Chaos King with a lightning bolt, it's likely that Darkseid's Omega Beams could also temporarily weaken him. While this effect may not be enough to change the game, it shows that Darkseid still has a chance to make some impact, even if only for a short time. With near absolute destructive power, the Chaos King outclasses Darkseid in most fights. While Darkseid is one of the most powerful beings in the DC multiverse, with his superior intellect, reality manipulation, and massive energy reserves from the Omega effect, that is still not enough to deal with an entity capable of devouring 98.76% of the Marvel multiverse, and forcing even death to flee. Darkseid can inflict some temporary damage on the Chaos King, especially if he uses Omega beams, Earth O Omega, or some special power like Soulfire. However, unless he has a perfect plan to seal or imprison the Chaos King, his victory is extremely unlikely. In most cases, the Chaos King will overwhelm and erase both Darkseid and Apokolips from existence. Winner: Chaos King, 8.9/10. What do you think about this fight? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks a lot, everyone.